Welcome back, everyone, to Vikings Playbook. I'm your host, Steve Hoikkala. Your Sunday starts here with Vikings Playbook. Got another great guest on with me today. Today, I have no other than Darin Bergeson, and he's with the Purple Dopes with Hopes on their weekly podcast. Make sure that you go and follow Darin on social media at Purple Dopes _DB. And then check out their podcast. Make sure you subscribe, Purple Dopes Podcast, over on YouTube. With that, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to welcome Darin onto the stage, but keep this on your calendars because this is who I got coming up next. After this Saturday, next Saturday, I got D Woods, SKOL State of Mind podcast. After that, I got Rap coming on the Purple Pocket. He's the vocal Vike coming on August 15th. I'll actually be on his show on the 13th. I'll be going to training camp, and then we're going to jump on together on August 15th. Vikes Now, Dustin Baker is going to be on with me after that on August 22nd. He's now over at vikesnow.com. You may remember him from Vikings Territory. He's got his new venture over on vikesnow.com. Make sure you go check that out as well. All right. With that, I got to welcome onto the stage no other than Darin. Darin, how are we doing tonight?
Doing great, man. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. I'm excited to have you on. We had K-Dub on a couple of weeks ago.
Sweet.
And Kyle and I, we have that sports card hobby
Yeah.
thing, to where, obviously we got some time together where we got to talk about, some of our favorite cards. He brought on his, I brought on mine. But you and Kyle, you've been doing Purple Dopes with Hopes for how long now?
Just hit our 1 year, actually posted our 1 year anniversary episode this week. Actually had Rap on. He joined us for the 1 year anniversary. So it was great.
Very cool. And then you guys surpassed 400 subscribers. You guys are pushing towards 5 now. And I'm getting close here. I'm getting close here to my first giveaway. This was a newer podcast. I started out here. It hasn't even been maybe 6 months.
Oh, wow.
7 months now.
Sweet,
we're over 200. We're getting towards 250, and at 250, we're going to be doing a Jordan Addison autographed jersey giveaway.
Ooh.
So make sure that you guys subscribe at Vikings Playbook on YouTube. Check out our other socials as well too on X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. But if you want to subscribe on YouTube, you're going to be eligible not only for this Jordan Addison autographed jersey, but other giveaways that we're doing all season long. And of course, if you want to be part of the card break that we're going to be doing later on, you could win your very own card. Different packs I'm doing on different weeks, but make sure you stay towards the end of the podcast. I do a card break. You get to try to guess the player team depending on the pack that I'm doing. And I'll mail it out to you guys as well too. So free for YouTube subscribers. And I say YouTube subscribers because that's the only way that you're able to typically comment to these streams, is making sure that you're a YouTube subscriber. So go into the comments if you want an opportunity to not only win that jersey, but card breaks and more.
Yeah, smash that subscribe. Let's go.
Absolutely. So, Darin, now, different topics I want to talk to you about, and you're located in the Minnesota area. We were talking a little bit before we jumped on, and you're going to be going maybe multiple times here. You're a season ticket holder. You're going to be going to Vikings Training Camp yourself. I'm going next week, and I'm really excited. But Vikings Training Camp, obviously, that's the hot topic close between him and JJ McCarthy. JJ looks shaky, had, sounds like, just a bad day. He had the pass that was tipped by Golday, intercepted by Cashman. With, if we're keeping score, at least the practices that we had media in press, in attendance, at least what Judd's telling us with Judd's cap notes and Will that's there at camp too, Will Regetz, we're seeing that Kyler Murray's out snapping JJ McCarthy. It's supposed to be a quarterback competition.
It's close though. He's out snapping him, but it's close.
Sure. But he's out snapped him every practice so far.
Yep.
And then now we're seeing, if we're keeping score, interceptions wise, they both got a couple interceptions. And I guess we could say the first 2 days JJ beat out Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
And then today it was a runaway show. So if we're keeping score day by day, and these guys are going to have good days and bad days. But if you're keeping score, let's say 2-1 JJ. Now that doesn't tell the whole story, of course, but what's your feeling and thoughts so far from what you've either seen, leaked,
Yeah.
on social media, and what you've heard. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think for fans, like I love like what you're saying is like keep it day by day. That's a good way for us to track it. Ultimately, though, there's no way KOC is doing that, right? So I think like a lot of people have said, this is Kyler's job to lose, right? Like I think it's going to be dependent on him coming in, knowing enough to start, and then figuring out the system as camp rolls along. But if
Yeah.
he displays that knowledge of the playbook, I don't think it matters picks, incompletions. I don't know if that really matters a lot in practice. I've talked to a few guys who are also saying they want to see incompletions. They want to see picks. They want to see you trying to, put the ball in places maybe you wouldn't do it in a game, but to kind of stretch your limits. And so I think if you're seeing turnovers from Kyler, that doesn't really concern me. But again, I think part of it too depends on, is it just a really bad throw or are you trying to make a big play? So that being said,
or just testing out your
yeah,
receivers, and can they
yeah,
get to certain balls, or can I trust them enough to make contested catches?
for sure. Absolutely. And so again, though, I think a day like today really solidifies in the minds of fans for sure, but even for coaches, like, yeah, this is probably Kyler's job to lose. And
Mhm.
it's obviously not over yet, but I do think, my opinion is 2 weeks from today, a decision will get made. So following the first preseason game, I think we have a decision. So I think you have over 2 weeks of practice at that point. You have one game, and then you're coming into the joints. And going into joints, I think they're going to want to have the starter be the starter. So I do think
I can
that's what
agree
we're
with
looking
that
at.
for sure. That's what I've been saying as well too. I think after that first preseason game,
Mhm.
going into those joint practices, I'm hoping we have named our
Yes.
starter by that point.
Yep. And I'd give them a lot of runway between then and the start of the season to really get solidified with the ones, stay in that playbook, kind of expand whatever, they might be missing. But back to the original question, who's in the lead? Yeah, it's Kyler. But I don't think anything's really changed because of what's happened like yesterday or today. I think he was in the lead to start. It's really, is he going to progress and show he knows the playbook? So that's really how I'm looking at it. I just don't think the coaches care about like the wins or losses of practice as much as we do as fans, or even like the Judds of the world or the other
Mhm.
writers, right? I think it's more fun for us to talk about that. But I think in the minds of the coaches, it's probably, if the practice performance influences their decision, it's got to be an absolutely terrible practice in my
Right.
mind, because I don't think beating some twos, because they're, the ones are probably playing the second team defense as well, so beating them probably expected. So
So what do you take from certain individuals that are saying JJ is taking what the defense has given him, so he hasn't been taking
yeah,
longer shot throws, or what some people are at least trying to paint the picture of is he's taking what the defense is giving him. Now that could be a good thing, is you're not
yeah,
trying to um, take shots that aren't there.
yeah,
So you're taking what the defense is giving you and you're moving the sticks. And he was being accurate the first 2 days, at least from the stats that we saw.
mm-hmm.
Uh, and I think that's great. But
Same,
we did see last season that JJ can take shots down the field, and
yep,
he wasn't a bad downfield passer.
no, he's got a good
And
arm, got some
yep,
zip on the ball, so
Kyler Murray was taking more shots down the field
yep.
so far during practices. But again, he's also been less accurate, and that's typically what happens when you're taking more shots down the field too.
Yeah, and again, we're not in the meetings with KOC. Maybe that's what he wants to see out of JJ, is like, look, I want to see the maturity that you can check down. You don't always have to go for the home run, because I think that's a knock on a lot of young quarterbacks when they come in is, hey, I want to throw it down the field, push the ball. And a lot of times it's like, take what the defense gives you. So that might be what he's working on. But that being said, me as a fan, I would like to see him try to stretch the field now, because this is the time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, if KOC wants him building better habits or whatever it is, maybe that's what's happening as well. But
Yeah.
me as a fan, I want to see the ball going down the field, right?
Two Tone says, I couldn't imagine being a quarterback going against this defense, especially the starters. And It's Brian Flores' defense, and
That's just it.
that's going to help our offensive players
Yes.
get better as a team, especially with the type of schemes that Brian Flores runs. That's it's meant to confuse quarterbacks, and it's only going to help our
Pure
guys get even
chaos.
better playing against these guys.
Absolutely.
Big Nuts says JJ McCarthy needs to realize with our defense that with the new running game, he doesn't have to risk it for the
Yep.
biscuit every down. And yeah, I mean, that could be I won't know, and you won't know until we're like there at practice. We're actually
Yeah.
seeing every play.
Yep.
And that's what I'm excited to do is I'm excited to actually see it with my own eyes.
Yes.
Do either of them look comfortable back there, and just how accurate are they being? Are they missing wide open guys? All of that stuff. But I
Yep.
think the most important thing is some of this is walkthrough type stuff. This is where we don't have the pads on,
Yeah.
and there's not somebody. We got the red jerseys on right now. No one's
They're not
hitting
getting
us.
hit.
No one's hitting us. We're maybe taking at times too much time in the pocket, and we're still completing a pass that
Right.
maybe wouldn't be completed, or somebody's got our hands on us by then.
That's just
So
it.
that's all stuff that factors in.
Yeah, 100%. And that's where, again, when you're doing these, non-tackle drills, like even the runs, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I played college football and had those days where you can't tackle people, and the offensive guys run through the line, you tag them, but they keep running. Like they're trying to make it look good too. So it's just so hard to tell at this point in the season, but that's why it's fun to speculate.
Yeah, and I just don't think I would look too much into it. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
every day I'm going to send out posts. Everyone's going
Yeah,
to send out posts to at least, hey, what are we taking from what these guys do every day in
for sure.
practice? Does that mean that, hey, I think that JJ's in the lead because he's done better in 2 of the 3 days, at least that we've got stats? No, that's not necessarily it.
Right.
I think it's good to see that these guys are doing good things to where
Yes.
JJ is taking what's in front of him. He's not
Yep.
making stupid throws. He's making smart plays with the football, which that was a criticism last year.
He gave the
his
ball away too
turnovers.
much, missed
Absolutely.
guys. So yeah, take what's there. Yep.
So we've seen some good things with JJ McCarthy. His mechanics, we've seen on tape, has improved.
Yes.
At least what we're hearing is he's taking what the defense is giving him. I think that's good as well too, and he's at least so far being accurate with the football. We've seen the clip where he threads the ball in between like 3 defenders.
Yeah.
To a contested ball, trusting his receiver and puts it exactly where it needs to. I don't know if you saw the breakdown from Chase Daniel. That was kind of breaking down some of the tape as far as what he's seen.
Yes.
And I think it's good things from both of these guys.
Yeah.
Kyler's going to get better in this offense as he learns some more of the playbook.
Yep.
And really just some of the nuances that this offense does as they're making changes as they're getting up to the line of the play.
Yep.
And that's going to be the biggest challenge for Kyler Murray is adjusting to that because he didn't do that in Arizona.
No, and JJ's got a full year head start on him. And so and again, in my mind, that's what's going to decide this is can Kyler do that?
Mm-hmm.
And if he can, I think it's going to be his job. But if he can't show KOC that he's able to come up to the line, identify the right play that they need to get into, and then not only identify the right play, but be on the same page as his wide receivers as they're running their routes, putting the ball where it's supposed to be. That's going to be really telling, I think, on whether or not he's going to be the starter or not.
Yeah, I mean, Fig, absolutely. We've talked about it. I think KOC. There's a overestimation, but there's also, I think, the fact that I think he tried to make JJ into what he wasn't last year, and we saw when he stopped doing that later in the season, we saw improved play.
Yeah.
And Northfield has talked about it too with the patchwork offensive line. Obviously, we're hoping to have a more healthy.
Oh man, because we got some dudes on that line. Yeah,
absolutely, and it looks great on paper.
Yep.
If they're in the starting lineup,
if they're healthy.
right? If they're healthy, absolutely. Yep. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our next topic: quarterback competition. Hey, it's going to be a day in, day out thing. They're going to have good days. They're going to have bad days. Don't look too far into it. Just know that, hey, at least right now, the plus is we know that JJ is getting better, and every day Kyler Murray is getting more comfortable in this offense, which I think is great.
And that's a win for all of us, right? Like, let's see them both play well. we're going to have a good quarterback under center.
Yeah. And yeah, Fig says JJ was pushing too much. That was the other point he was going to talk about. Yeah. I mean, JJ absolutely looked, um, I think overwhelmed a little bit last
Yeah.
year is,
Oh, yeah.
is maybe the best way that we could probably put it. But
Yep.
I think whether it's him or Kyler Murray, we're going to see a better version of quarterback this season, hopefully
Absolutely.
a healthier year. All right, topic number 2, I want to talk about Jamal Adams. All right, so Jamal Adams signs, O'Neal extended, Nolan Teasley at GM. One of the biggest things, I wrote about this, and if you guys haven't checked it out already, make sure you go check out what I'm writing over at purpleptsd.com. Great writers over there. Check out more Vikings news daily. And what I talked about with Nolan Teasley is one of the biggest things that I thought, and the number one with a bullet, biggest thing that he needs to do and address right away was Brian O'Neal.
Yeah.
I wanted him to sign him to an extension, and I think it was the right thing to do, and he did. And then he also brought on Jamal Adams. So let's just take a look at these guys' contract. Let me get that graphic out of the way. Brian O'Neal signed a 4-year extension, $96 million through 2030. And I don't think, he's 30 years old.
Yep.
He's, for offensive linemen, not 29 is roughly the average age of a starting offensive lineman.
Yep.
So I don't think that this is, hey, we paid for an older guy, type of deal. I still think he's still right there in his prime. Brian O'Neal's still
Absolutely.
one of the best right tackles in the league.
Yep.
He's been one of the most consistent guys in the locker room and a captain, a team captain. He's a team guy that everybody looks to. I think this was absolutely the right move to anchor one of your tackle spots for a long time. And then we bring in Jamal Adams. All right. We don't know if he's playing safety, linebacker, hybrid. Obviously, he was a 3-time Pro Bowler as a safety. He played linebacker last year with the Raiders. He comes in on a 1-year deal. Now, we're going to talk about both of these. I'm going to get your thoughts. But Jamal Adams comes in, and, he's not what he was. And that's why he made the move to linebacker. He's not a cover guy. He's more of an in the box type guy, to where he's a downfield. He's going to blitz the quarterback, and he can help, plug up and stop the run. That's what Jamal Adams is at this point in his career.
Yes.
Now, I think how they use him, will he be a linebacker per se? That's what he looks like on the depth chart, but will they use him as a linebacker? I think that's the biggest question. We use 3 safety sets. He could be an in the box guy in different blitz packages, and that could be how we use one of the better, still really good, has a nose for the ball type blitzers in the NFL. Your thoughts on the Brian O'Neal extension first, Darin?
I mean, I'm right there with you. That was a no-brainer move. Had to get done, cleared a little bit more cap space for us, like, immediately. And honestly, like, the guy's earned it. Like, I agree with you. I think he's in his prime now. Like, this isn't a guy like who's fading. I know he's had a couple of injuries through his career, but again, that happens to everybody. But had to do it. Locked him up. This isn't hanging over his head now. He can just go play football, not worry about the business side of it. And honestly, like, $24 million a year for top 5 right tackle seems like a deal to me.
Yeah, we're not paying him the highest paid money in the league.
No. So to me, like, I think this was a great deal across the board for both sides. I'm a big Brian O'Neal fan, right? Like, to your point, locker room guy, team captain. The guys love him. I believe he's the longest tenured Viking right now, isn't he? I think he's the longest.
He's not the longest tenured, but he's one of the longest tenured.
Okay. But anyway,
we don't know if Harrison comes back either. Right?
True.
Well, actually, I think you might be right. After CJ and
Ham's gone.
Harrison,
if Harrison doesn't come back,
right. I think he might be.
Yeah. So that's where, again, it just made too much sense to not get this done. And when I saw the number, I was, like I said, pleasantly surprised that it was under 100 million over the 4 years. So super psyched to get that done and have that anchor on the right side of the line for years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Jamal Adams, this is not a huge deal. This is definitely a minimum type deal.
Yep.
Come in and prove it, 1-year deal.
Yeah.
He's not taking Brian Cashman or Eric Wilson's spot.
No.
I think if I'm Ivan Pace, I'm a little worried. But it could be, a combination of linebacker / safety depth. I don't think that his impact is not going to be holy cow. So we got Jamal Adams. He's going to be crushing
No.
people, but
Agreed.
it could be in situations where we're pinning our ears back or we're in different blitz packages. That's how I see it.
Yeah. When I saw the headline come through, I think my initial response was like, interesting, right? And then as I've thought about it, I've gotten excited. One, I think there's the safety room right now is pretty unknown. Like, one, is Harrison coming back? We don't know. And if he doesn't, there might need to be more help back there, which he can provide. I'm not saying he's going to be the Jamal Adams of 5 years ago, but he could maybe provide extra depth there. Sure. But what I'm actually really excited about is his ability to rush the passer off the edge. Like, he's still like, is he fast for a safety right now? No, but he's fast for a linebacker.
Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. But Jamal Adams, he's got a lot of experience.
Yeah.
That he's going to bring into this locker room. And like I said, blitz packages. How often do we blitz?
Every down.
Quite a bit. About 42%. So if that's the case, is there opportunities for Jamal Adams in this offense? Absolutely. That doesn't mean that Brian Cashman, Eric Wilson, who was really good in the blitz last year, don't know how to do that too. But I think that's additional depth. We had some issues and we did have some concerns early on right now with Brian Cashman's finger. So, it doesn't hurt to bring in another guy, especially when you like to blitz and you're Brian Flores and you have another person to even maybe bring in as a fresh guy in different blitz situations. And that he can do that job. We didn't break the bank to do it. And one of the comments that I have in here is, now that we freed up cap space, do we target an edge for depth? I've been shouting it from the rooftops.
Yep.
Jadeveon Clowney, please, let's go do something with him.
Yeah.
That's who I want. We need to make sure. Brian, you're right. I did say Brian Cashman. I need to get my head out of Yankees Cashman. Baseball. Blake Cashman. I did say Brian, didn't I, Norris?
Yeah.
Norris. I know, right? It's probably all the baseball cards I've been doing here lately too. But Jadeveon Clowney, yes, I do think that we go out and get edge depth. We got like $20 million left in cap space.
It's 23 to be exact, but it's a good number.
Block A, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We got to do something at depth. At edge, if we were willing to bring in somebody depth linebacker like that, absolutely. There's been talks of, hey, can Golday shift down? I don't think that we need to do that. And if we're talking depth chart, Golday's still ahead in my mind of an aging Adams.
Yeah, I mean, I think Golday is going to stay in the middle. I think that's where he belongs, especially right now. If he shows he can stretch the field more, fine. But I think right now, put him in his natural spot. Let him come to play in the NFL and figure it out there. I'm with you on the extra depth there at edge. Clowney would be great. I think there's a few other pretty big names out there too, of guys that, probably not in their prime, but good depth play. So definitely would love to see Teasley do that. I still think he will in the coming weeks.
Fig says Clowney worked out with the Cowboys. Do you think he would do well in B-Flow's system? Darin, you want to take that?
I mean, I don't know. He's the type of athlete I think that could play in just about anyone's system. So I know that he's played outside linebacker in a 3-4, which is probably where he'd end up being here. So I think he'd be fine. Like, it's not like this is a brand new position for him that he's never played.
He's a rotational guy at this point in his career.
Absolutely.
And he's a guy that still produces. Yeah.
I mean, and you're going to ask him to rush the passer, right? You're not going to ask him to like play a bunch of run, defense or anything like that. Like, you're going to put him in on 3rd and long and let him pin his ears back and get the quarterback. Yeah. So like, that's what he does best. And so I think he'd easily jump into Brian Flores' system and handle it. No problem.
Hey, shout out to Rap.
Hey, Rap, he's on.
Yeah, absolutely. Rap, I appreciate you joining. Vocal Vike, make sure you check it out and you subscribe to him. Before I go to training camp, I think I said the 13th, but the 13th is when I'm at training camp, Rap. So I think it was the 11th, actually, we were going to jump on together. So I'll have to figure that out with Rap, but I think it's 11th, actually, that we talked about. I'll be on with the Vocal Vike over there at Rap. On his show, and then I'm going to go to training camp. I'm going to come back, and then on the 15th, he's going to be on with me at Vikings Playbook. Again, make sure that you check it out and you tune in. I need to get rid of that graphic if I'm going to do that. But Rap's going to be with me, and it's going to be good stuff.
That's a great lineup you got coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be good stuff. Having Rap on for sure. And I'm really excited to have you on, Rap. We're going to talk about everything I saw at training camp with my own eyes, my own takes from it, and it's going to be really good to have Rap on. And yes, I saw it, Bob. Bob, you were probably over there. Cover your tracks, Rap. The NFL's covered for you. I don't think Rap's too worried about it. I mean, the videos are out there everywhere, getting dispersed. I think the cat's out of the bag for that one, but yeah, I don't think we have to worry about that right now. Northfield says Clowney played for 3.5 million, one of the highest rush rates. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Brev talking about that. Brevsky also writes for us over there at purpleptsd.com. So great writer. Make sure that you're checking that stuff out, guys. All right, let's move on to our next topic. The next topic I want to talk about is training camp takeaways. Okay, so what else have you heard or seen at camp that really has you excited? For me, these three that you see on here: Dominique Orange, Jake Golday, Caleb Banks. One of our followers in chat made sure that they talked about it. The rookies, rookies playing with the ones.
Yep,
that excites me.
Absolutely.
I don't know if there's anything else, but first off, I mean, those rookies is what has me juiced. The fact that in our draft class, and I was on Rap and SKOL State of Mind's pod right before this, and we were talking how excited we were about the rookies.
Yep.
The fact that they're playing with the ones and getting reps, where we've struggled has been our draft and drafting guys that make an impact and that are on the roster, not guys that sit for a year or two before we ever see them on the field and then we decide they're a bust.
Yep.
These are guys that are already playing with the ones that have an opportunity to start for us or be impactful in year one. I think that is the most exciting thing as a Vikings fan.
I'm with you there. Number one thing is the rookies, especially Caleb Banks right now. I know with the foot injury coming into training camp, we're like, where's he at with this? And holy smokes, like he's already rotating like heavily with the ones, like to the point where I think he's like going to start. That's just amazing news coming in like the first week of training camp. Like this is much faster than I was expecting. But then again, you have Golday tipping that ball today.
Chuck Demings. Chuck D.
That's
there were comments today of how good he looked playing man on Jettas.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was on Jets today. Yep. So
to the point where he had Jettas complaining,
looking for flags.
Looking for flags.
I read that.
So he's getting into Jettas head a little bit there.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Oh man, Demings could end up being the steal of the draft. Like that would be amazing.
Maybe it should have been a flag. I didn't see it, but I mean, at least comments that hey, he's sticking to glue and man to man, and that's a good
against
thing.
the best.
Yep, that's a good thing to see.
Absolutely, yeah, psyched about that. But yeah, big Citrus out there doing what he does, and again, like our defensive line depth is just crazy.
It is. It truly is. That's going to be a dogfight for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. Just, I mean, the guys that get released are going to get snatched up right away. So like that's it's just crazy to think how good we're going to be on the defensive front there. But then you got Golday tipping balls, you got Demings making plays. Sounds like Claiborne hasn't practiced yet, so that's the one I'm really curious to see him get out there with that speed and kind of see where how he's looking with the running backs out there. But the rookies look amazing right now. We touched on the quarterbacks. I don't think we need to really dive deep into that again, but that's also like a takeaway that we're going to watch every single day.
I think it's exciting. You saw Jake Golday make an impact, by tipping that ball. even just today. So
Yeah.
looking to impact, tip the ball, turned into an interception. Blake Cashman, Blake, making that interception. But I mean, yeah, I mean, we got the rookies out there getting reps with the ones. Our draft at least looks somewhat promising early
Yep.
that we're going to see some impact from our rookies, even in the third round.
Yes.
Yes. You know, Raps dude, Damon Claiborne. Yes, he was in street clothes today. Don't know exactly what's going on there. Could have just pulled something. Who knows
Yeah.
what it is? That hasn't really came out yet, but that's something I'm going to look into as well. But you know, I expect Damon Claiborne to play a role as well this year,
Absolutely.
whether that be reps at running back in relief or possibly even special teams as a kick returner.
Well, you got to wonder too. That's where like the kick returner route, punt returner route. Like if he's jumping into that role, I'm kind of thinking, where does that leave Miles Price? Because the other thing is our wide receiver room is deep. With like the top three, you know, we're gonna have Jefferson, Addison, Jennings, like top three for sure. You got Dylan Bell, the undrafted rookie out of Georgia. You got Ty Felton, second year guy. I just wonder if Miles Price isn't doing the special team stuff, if that leaves him as one of the odd men out in that wide receiver room.
Yeah, no, that's going to be interesting for sure. But I think I just think with these rookies that we have making the impact, filling out our roster.
Yeah.
I think that there was some worry by myself included that we're going to have holes on this roster, and the fact that we're seeing rookies possibly being able to fill those. One of the biggest things. I mean, we won't know until we get into real action, but
Yeah.
Caleb Banks and Dominique Orange need to have an impact this year in order for our defense to have the push that they need, especially with Dallas Turner taking that primary role from Grenard, who looks to be not playing this preseason.
Yeah, he's got that pec injury.
So we'll see. I mean, it's still yet to be determined, but it's good to see that they're at least getting reps with the one. Caleb Banks, no foot issue. He's out there practicing. Great stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's really a snap count either. He's just going through normal drills, normal practice. So it's great to see. Yeah, super exciting stuff.
Shout out to Delton. I saw him earlier. He was out on Rap Show as well too, talking. Miles Price looked fire on special teams. You know, Miles Price, he did a really good job last year. I wrote about this as well today. Actually, my Purple Path to 53 talking about wide receivers. Yeah, I mean, Price is going to have some competition on special teams, not just from Claiborne, but also Dylan Bell as well. And yeah, he did great last year. In punt returns, he was in the top 10 for average punt return average, and in kick returns, he was 16. You know, that's, you know, average as far as the kick returns go. But I mean, he is primarily coming in this. Punt return is his game.
Sure-handed. Like that's the thing I love about him. He is sure-handed. When the ball's coming at him, he's going to catch it.
So, I mean, there's room on the kick return side where, you know, Damon Claiborne had 2 touchdowns at Wake Forest. He has an opportunity to come in, be a kick returner. You know, Dylan Bell's showing some of that. I mean, obviously, Dylan Bell's trying to make this team as well. And one of the ways that he can make an impact and show his worth is by also doing well in special teams. So there's a little bit of some wiggle room in there for sure. All right. Next thing I want to talk about, because I don't want to spend too much time here, because it's gonna go into some of my other topics here. When we start talking about winners and losers at training camp, so we're talking about what stands out, but training camp so far, from what we've seen, who are your winners and losers? I'm gonna give you my list, and then you can tell me who's missing.
Sounds good.
I'll explain why.
All right, let's hear it.
My list, potential winners, Brian O'Neill. You know, he gets that extension, you know, so right at the start, and Nolan Teasley could have been on this list too.
Yeah.
He takes a distraction from one of the team captains out of play right away early before training camp really kicks off. And then Jamal Adams. I have Jamal Adams on there because he has an opportunity to really revitalize or restart his career, if you will. Or revive his career, if you will, here in Minnesota. He's got an opportunity in the Brian Flores defense. you kind of touched on it earlier, and so did someone else in chat. But the Nolan Teasley angle, that he wanted to come here because of Nolan Teasley. Well, Nolan Teasley was also with the Seahawks, where Jamal Adams had the most success as a Pro Bowl player. So he's seen him firsthand and likes him for what he was able to do there in Seattle as well. Caleb Banks, he's a winner. He's on the field. He's on the field. He's healthy. He's
on the field, no restrictions.
and he's in with the ones. And then Jake Golday, hey, he's got Blake Cashman, he's got Eric Wilson in front of him, but he's also getting to work with the ones and getting praised for his athleticism and just his versatility of what he's gonna be able to do for this defense. So I think that's huge. Players under pressure. Ty Felton, I think the reason why I say Ty Felton is, and I was talking to Ben Gosling a little bit and texting with him on Twitter earlier on this. I'm looking for Ty Felton to make a big step this year, and I think he needs to in order to keep a spot on this roster. Ty Felton had some issues yet in camp, a little bit with the hands, but he's also made some really big plays. He's going to need to continue to make big plays, minimize mistakes, because he's got some dogs. Like I said, today, I had my article on Purple Path of 53. Right now, Ty Felton is on my 53, and I think if the Vikings keep 6, which I think that they do, I think Ty Felton's on there as wide receiver 4. After that, I think Miles Price is wide receiver 5, and wide receiver 6, if we keep one, it comes down to Dylan Bell, Jay-Sean Jones, and possibly comes down to our last wide receiver, and that's going to be Dante Fleming. And to me, a dark horse is Dante Fleming. And, at least in mini camps, when I got to see video on Dante Fleming, super quick in and out of his routes, and he kind of pops off the tape, if you will. And that was really surprising to me. I think Dante Fleming is a dark horse in here to possibly fight for a spot. Jay-Sean Johnson has been a Vikings favorite for the last couple of years, where we've kind of stashed him, and he's been nothing but solid as a wide receiver. And I think if Juwan Jennings doesn't come into this offense, Jay-Sean Jones is probably on this roster for sure as a lock on the 53. It definitely gets dicey for Ty Felton because he's got some pretty good options. And what I wrote today is this is probably one of our stronger receiving groups since 3 deep.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've talked about that on our show several times too. Like, this is the next coming of that because, man, like every single one of them can play.
And then players under pressure, depth for defensive backs. I think there's Nudy's going to have to fight for his spot. Dwight McGlotherin's going to have to fight, man. Yeah. And I think at safety, I think the young rookie is going to have an opportunity to start there as well. And when we talk about rookies making an impact, Jacoby Thomas has an opportunity to take a starting safety spot and get significant play. Obviously, Jay Ward's going to be there, and Theo Jackson's going to be fighting for it as well, too. Metellus has one of those spots locked down. But, again, in the secondary, I think there's going to be a battle. And how many of those safeties we keep on the roster is going to be interesting, because you still have individuals on this roster like Tavier Thomas that we keep. Do we keep him for special teams? Where do we sacrifice there? So there's different things to think about. And when I take a look at defensive backs, I think that's if I'm talking winners and losers, I would be nervous. I would be nervous if I'm a defensive back because I'm in a battle. And then Ivan Pace. We brought in Jamal Adams. What does that do for me if I'm, Ivan Pace? It looked like I was going to be released. I ended up coming back on a deal, and now we brought in Jamal Adams. So I'm nervous if I'm Ivan Pace.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I missed chat, and Darin, I'm going to turn it over to you. Anyone I missed on winners or losers on this? Not necessarily losers, but players under pressure, or anything to comment, Darin?
Yeah, so right now, again, it's early, but just potential winner. I'm going to put the entire offensive line on there because we have a healthy offensive line that should be a top 10 offensive line. And I am psyched about that right now. So just offensive line, I think huge winner right now. And I would have Chuck Demings on the winners because from what I've read, he's had a great camp early, but like he's making plays. He looks like he belongs.
You said Chuck Demings, and Brev heard it, and he's here. You know, he heard Chuck's name, and there he is. It's like a dinner bell.
It's got to be, yeah. Yeah, and then in terms of the guys that, or what are we calling it, players under pressure, I think Dallas Turner is under pressure. Not that he's going to get cut, but like he's got big shoes to fill this year. And so I want to see him coming out and just have a hell of a camp where he rips it up because I do think he has big shoes to fill. Again, not pressure like Ivan Pace in terms of making the team.
Right.
But I think from what's expected of him, he's got a lot of pressure on him right now.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, this has been a great segment as well. I'm not seeing any more winners and losers from your guys' side. Looks like between Darin and I think we got most of them covered. You know, there's going to be a lot. We'll revisit this as well during camp. But before we go into our next topic, I want to thank my sponsors for sure, starting out with That's Badass, Woodart.com. Vikings Playbook is brought to you by our podcast sponsor, That's Badass Woodart. Go to their website and use code PLAYBOOK to receive 10% off on any products on their website. That's pretty badass. Great wood art. I'm actually looking at trying to get a piece done by Luis for my logo. Hopefully I have that in the background here at some point, and then we can't forget about Sports Legends USA. The Vikings Playbook podcast is brought to you by SportsLegendsUSA.com. Check out their website for all of your Minnesota Vikings legends, upcoming appearances, and signings. And remember to use code PLAYBOOK for 15% off in their shop for your favorite merchandise. Sports Legends USA, connecting sports legends with fans, one legacy at a time. All right, so Sports Legends USA, great merchandise on their shop. Go check it out. You know, they're doing events for all these great Vikings legends, so the merchandise is off the chain. Use Playbook on both of those both of those websites at their merchandise shop at checkout to make sure that you get 10% at that's badasswoodart.com and 15% over at Sports Legends USA. Thank you so much to those podcast sponsors. All right, so we're going to go into the next topic that I want to cover, guys. You guys love this, right? I know I do. Because it's time. All right, so what's going on? NFC North conversation. We saw at least the tweet was put out there by Ari Merov, and he's talking Tucker Kraft. Yep. Packers week 1 opponent. We might have to game plan for Tucker Kraft. I think he's at least a top 5 tight end when healthy in the league. You know, I hate the Packers just as much as the rest of you guys, but I got to give his credit. I think Tucker Kraft has, when he's healthy, I think he's one of the better tight ends in the league. He's definitely an up-and-comer. So he's going to be somebody we have to game plan for. But, Darin, is he going to be completely healthy to where he's actually that big of a factor, or is he going to be on a snap count?
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised when I saw that tweet come out that he was playing. I didn't think there's any chance that he'd be playing the first few weeks of the season. So I think looking ahead, like what's he doing in camp? Like if he's limited all through camp, I think that's going to tell us a lot more. So I think it's just what does he look like in the coming, next 3-4 weeks of practice? And if he's out there doing the drills, no snap count there, he probably plays, as much as he wants to. But if he's limited in practice for the entire training camp, I think that kind of tells us all we need to know.
Absolutely. Shout out to Fig and Norris. They say they've also been to Sports Legends USA and got some jerseys from there. So yeah, next time use Playbook code and get 15% off, guys. Yeah, Tucker Kraft. We're gonna have to game plan for him, and I think there's still a potent offense. I know that we like to get the digs in on Jordan Love, but that's still a pretty good offense. The running game, we'll see if there's any more legal troubles with Josh Jacobs, but that's still a really good offense. I think that it's something that uh, at least this team stacking up in week one, I do truly believe at this point on paper that we should be 1-0.
Yeah.
I'm expecting us to have a lot better quarterback play than we did last year, and we were able to go toe and toe with these guys last year.
Yes.
And I definitely believe that our defense is still going to be around that top 10 in the league, and I think we're going to have at least a top half of the league offense. And when I say that, I'm saying like top 15 or better.
Yeah.
And I think that makes us a really dangerous team that nobody wants to face. It's just a question of early on in the season, because I think the starter week one is going to be Kyler Murray. Is he feeling comfortable enough in this offense? Did he get enough reps to be comfortable? And they're not going to have Micah Parsons. I think Tucker Kraft's going to be on a snap count potentially in week one, and I think that definitely gives us an advantage. And it's at home.
For sure. Gets back to the conversations with the safeties though too. Like if we gotta figure out who's playing safety back there because that's who's going to cover Tucker Kraft. So we need to have someone that's ready to play.
Absolutely. Now, Darin, I don't know if you've seen this before, but I usually do a card break. And before I get into this last piece, guys, card break. We're doing the electrics tonight. I'm not doing one. I'm not doing two, but I'm gonna do three.
Ooh.
Three electric packs tonight. So you have three opportunities to win. What I need you to do is pick one college and one NFL team in chat. Once someone has chosen that team, you cannot choose that team. So you got three options tonight, or three chances to win. So I need you to give me one college and one NFL team. So if you went with the Gophers and the Vikings, that's what I need. If someone else chooses the Gophers and the Vikings, they're out. You can't choose them. You got to pick somebody different. Darin, if you go into YouTube chat, go ahead. You can pick a team as well, too, if you want to play. So make sure that you go in there. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time to pick your teams. Again, I need one college and one NFL team. You have to be on YouTube chat for me to see the teams that you're picking. So in order to be eligible, got to be on YouTube. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you go into the comments, pick your team, one college, one NFL team, because it could be an NFL or a college player that comes out of these packs. Three chances to win. Make sure you get your guesses in the chat. All right. So while you guys are doing that, I do want to make sure that I thank Darin again and make sure that you guys are checking him out as far as following him on his podcast and his social media links. So make sure that you're doing that. Follow Darin on social media. That's at @PurpleDopes_DB, YouTube at Purple Dopes Podcast. And,
yeah, appreciate the call out.
And again, great podcast. They're growing as well too. So the way that you can help them is by going and hitting that subscribe button, guys. Same thing with me. Make sure that we're doing that. And then again, chance to win. Go to Vikings Playbook on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button because we're giving away. We're close. We're like 40 subscribers away for giving away a Jordan Addison jersey that you could win, and it's the Winter Warrior one as well.
Oh, sick!
So
That's
make sure that you go hit that subscribe button after the Jordan Addison. Guess what? We're announcing another giveaway. So make sure that you do that. We're doing them all season long. And our first one, share this to your friends. Make sure that they subscribe because that's going to get us even closer to our goal, to our first giveaway, guys. All right. So I got some guesses that I'm going to at least announce so you guys can see them if you're not already seeing them, just so no one's picking those teams. Let's go ahead and bring it up on the screen. All right. So Notre Dame, Chargers are off the board. Packers and USC are off the board. The Ducks and the Bills are off the board. LSU Tigers and the San Diego Chargers are off the board. Tar Heels and the Texans. You guys are doing well, not picking each other's teams so far. Ooh, I think we just changed it. Yeah, we changed. So the Chargers are back on the board. TJ PDX changed his to LSU and Denver instead of the Chargers. Darin, if you're on the chat, or if you're able to get on the chat, you can go ahead and throw in a pick here too.
Okay.
And then, guys, Darin, huge shout out to him. He's been a great guest on today. And Darin, I know that you're maybe trying to figure things out so you can pick your teams, but I just want to give a shout out when you guys are ready. I'd love to come over on your guys' podcast.
That'd be awesome.
It works out to where when I come over for training camp one of these times, we're maybe able to meet up or meet
Absolutely.
up during a game. I think that would be really cool as well. And Norris picked Chargers. That's why. Thanks, Fig. Appreciate that. But yeah, I'd love to get together for a game. I think that'd be cool.
Yep,
And
100%, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meet up with you in person. First one's on me.
Hey, it's just like a quick 5-hour jaunt between Bismarck and Minneapolis, right?
Absolutely. While you're figuring that out, Darin, if you just want to go ahead and say it in chat, I'll give you 2 teams.
Okay.
College and NFL.
All right. Hang on.
You don't have to say it in chat. You can just say it right now on the screen.
Oh, okay.
I'll give it to you.
I'm gonna go college. Let's go Michigan. Anyone take Michigan?
Okay.
NFL, let's go Dolphins.
Okay. Michigan and Dolphins. All right. So we have some different options here, guys. We got 3 chances to win tonight. 3 chances to win. All right. Let's start with the first pack. All right. Here we go with the rip. A little tricky there with the seal. All right. Here we go, guys. Actually, I think I need to go. All right, here we go. We got a flashback coming out. Who is that?
Is that LT?
That's LaDainian Tomlinson.
LaDainian.
That's going to you, Norse.
Nice.
TJ, PDX, you're just
Score.
a little bit late on that, but LaDainian Tomlinson flashback going to Northfield. One of the best running backs to ever play the game. We got a winner on the first pack, and we still got 2 more to go. Congratulations to Northfield. We got LaDainian Tomlinson, LT, on the first one. Pack number 2. Here we go. All right. Here, I'll turn it for you guys here. Coming out nice and slow. See a white helmet. Ooh, that looks like a Colt.
Yep.
That's the Colts to me. It's Lenny Moore on the Colts. We did not have anyone pick the Colts. No Colts. Yeah, SKOL. Brav, you missed guessing time. We're actually doing 3 packs tonight. We had a winner in the first pack. Nobody won on the second pack. We had LaDainian Tomlinson that pulled on that first pack. Here we go. Last pack, 3rd chance to win here, guys. Vikings Playbook. Make sure that you're subscribing. You got chances to win. Cards on every podcast, and we got a jersey coming. All right, here we go, guys. Last one. Michigan and Dolphins, maybe for Darin. Maybe
one
he
time
gets a prize for coming on the one time. Ooh,
looks like a brown.
Red? Is it brown?
Looks
Could
like
be the
brown.
Browns, or could be red. It's kind of hard to see because I'm looking at the camera on the screen, so that could be red. I think that's red.
Yeah.
All right. We got Carson Hansen. And I'm not sure what team he plays for there. That kind of looks like that might be I'm not even.
I have no
sure.
idea. Is that the Chiefs?
No idea. It could be the Chiefs, but Carson Hansen, I'm not sure who that is. Not Jim Brown, fig nuts. But let's go ahead and run through them again. As far as the cards that I pulled here, ended up having 3 cards, and the first one here was a winner, and that is Northfield. LaDainian Tomlinson on the flashback. Second one, we didn't have a winner on the flashback. Lenny Moore for the Colts. And the last one, I think the Chiefs for Carson Hansen. Oh, SKOL says Hansen played for Iowa State, but now plays for Penn State. So this is probably an Iowa State.
Iowa State. Yep. Makes
Iowa
sense.
State card. All right. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. So we got a winner. So 3 cards, 1 winner. LaDainian Tomlinson. That's quite the
good
hit.
pull. Good pull.
That was the best card out there, and you got it, Northfius. Thank you guys so much for watching the entirety of the podcast, and that's my thanks to you guys, is doing a card break. Thanking you guys for tuning in. Any last words that you have for the followers and audience out there, Darin?
Yeah, man. Just thanks for having me on. This was great conversation. Love talking about the Vikings training camp. And man, I haven't been this excited for a Viking season in what feels like a long time. So big expectations. And I think that D is going to be not only top 10, I think we're going to be top 5 D. I mean, that's going to get nasty this year.
I hope that's the case. And if Dominique Orange and Caleb Banks play up to the potential,
yeah,
I definitely think that's within the realm of possibility for this defense as well. Dallas Turner, obviously, if he's healthy, and Andrew Van Ginkel are healthy, that's a exciting front that we have for the Vikings.
Yep.
All right, guys. I want to thank you guys so much, everyone, for tuning in, adding comments, asking questions. Zoe, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you're checking out Zoe over at In the Zone Sports as well, too. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. My podcast means nothing without anyone that's watching it, appreciating it, and chiming in, tuning in. So definitely thanks to you guys as always. I appreciate it so much. This has been a Vikings Playbook, and for Darin and me, SKOL Vikings. We'll see you guys next time. Peace, guys.